Well guys, there has been a rash of some big name stocks, all-time great stocks hitting 52-week lows. Now a few of these are controversial, and some that you may not have even known were at 52-week lows given how much hype they receive around them. So this list actually looks a lot different than it normally does, and there are some incredible lessons to be gleaned from it, and we will discuss all that as well. So I'll tell you if I think there is a massive opportunity in these stocks at these lows, or is it a huge trap that you need to run far away from because the hype train seems to follow some of these stocks and it just has led to the disaster after the disaster in the end. Just make sure you like the video if you like getting the truth without the hype. All right, guys, so keep in mind that when I'm thinking about this and I'm thinking about lists like this, I honestly don't care about 52-week lows, just like I don't care about 52-week highs. And that's simply because a stock can still be significantly overvalued even at a 52-week low and vice versa. So, if fair value on a stock is $25 and it ran all the way up to $125 and then it fell back down to $80 or so, that might have been the 52-week low for that particular year, but it still would be significantly overvalued if fair value happened to be $25. That's kind of what I mean by that. I don't draw, it can be a good starting point of, hey, let's see if there's anything interesting there in those type lists. But in regards to thinking, oh, it's at a 52-week low, it might very well be a steal deal. That could be true, but it may also not be true as well. You may have a lot more to fall. That's why valuation and understanding what the actual fair value of a stock is and why it's so important, because all these lists, and then of course all the noise around all these lists, sometimes it's traders playing trader games. Maybe that is a great spot to leap into a trade, but that doesn't mean it's a great spot as a long-term buy and hold investor to jump in and invest. And if you're serious about learning how to invest and you want to work directly with me, make sure you take advantage of the March Madness sale that's ending very, very soon here, guys. March is almost over with. It's the pinned comment down there. Just check that out and see if a membership's right for you. But we need to get on to this list here. Now, I'm not trying to create controversy with this list. And if I'm being honest with you guys, some of the stocks on here today might be some of the most controversial stocks in the stock market here. But if you still love a few of these stocks, make sure you comment down below. Let me know why you love them, because I'd love to talk about it in the comments section. All right, so the first stock is Target. All right, I told you guys, controversy right here off the top. And you guys know I've owned Target for a long time. Obviously, whenever it kind of seems like it can't keep itself out of some sort of controversy of some sort, right? Basically, they upset one side of the political spectrum over here, a year or two ago, and then now they've upset the other side, lately in regards to that, which of course has created downward pressure in both instances on the stock. Now, long-term, what does this stuff mean? Nothing. Typically, when this sort of stuff happens, it's a 6-month beat down per se, and it all kind of blows over and everybody kind of moves on from here. And obviously, as you can see right there with Target, it's not like it's one side or the other. This is why I just hate it when stocks get involved in anything that's a hot button controversial topic or political or anything else of that nature, because this is exactly what happens. You get some bumps and then it's over with 6 months later, but that's to our advantage as investors because it is so temporary and short-term in nature. Now, remember guys, when I talk short-term, I'm talking, a year, sometimes 2 years to me can still be short-term in regards to how I kind of view short-term. I'm not talking about 2 weeks or anything else of that nature, but I haven't seen anything crazy in Target's earnings that has me concerned or anything else like that. And luckily, I already filled out my position a long time ago, back when the first controversy happened. But for those of you guys looking for a great company and a great stock long-term, this is definitely one to consider here, especially if you're willing to kind of deal with this down period, this controversy right now. Coming out on that back end there, I understand that there's recession fears and a lot of other things of that nature that will affect Target, obviously. But, again, long-term buy and hold investors, we're thinking long-term. And for me, looking at Target right now might very well be a great opportunity at these prices because the valuation is not terrible. You're getting a great company. You're getting a great dividend. It's definitely, if you're looking for a dividend play, definitely one to consider. So stock number 2 is Microsoft. Another great company, guys. Now, they're not caught up in controversy or anything of that nature. Nothing more than a normal controversy that Microsoft gets itself in. But it's another all-time great company here, hanging around at 52-week lows. Now, here's where Microsoft is a little bit tricky right now because it did get way ahead of itself with all the AI hype and everything else around it. So the valuation isn't as great as some of the other stocks on this list in regards to a valuation where it's at traditionally in its valuation, kind of journey per se. But I can't argue with the fact that Microsoft isn't a top 5, top 10 company all time. That's really, really hard to argue any different from that. And it rarely goes on a significant discount. It happens from time to time, but it rarely gives you a really, really big discount on the stock. So if you're looking at Microsoft and a stock you want to own, it's definitely worth taking a deep dive right now, because it won't take too much more weakness for it to kind of go from that kind of, it's still a little bit rich in my opinion, of course, to, wow, this, everybody agrees this is significantly undervalued and a great buy. So definitely keep your eye out there on Microsoft during a time like right now. So stock number 3 is Google. I got it. It's not down to 52-week lows yet, but it's definitely trending in that direction, and it does not have that far to go until it hits that 52-week low. But unlike Microsoft, it's at one of its cheapest valuations ever. That's the situation we have right now with Google. And it just kind of feels like all of the Magnificent Seven, it's during one of its downtimes. It's during one of those times where it's getting beat up by the Justice Department. There's some negative headwinds, or some negative headlines, excuse me, if I could talk. There's a lot of other things just kind of working against it in the short term. But when you look underneath the hood, you look at earnings, they're not bad. They're pretty good. Guidance, pretty good. Everything is not signaling a declining stock, but yet here we are. Google trading at one of its cheapest valuations ever. So for me, it's definitely one that I am adding to currently right now. I'm going to continue to add on to it if this beatdown continues with Google. And on to the last stock on this list, and it's one of the most controversial stocks in the history of my channel right here. Obviously not in the history of the stock market or anything else of that nature, but definitely one that got me a ton of hate a few years ago when I basically spoke out against it. And I said, hey, you guys are, I don't know what you're thinking here, but this is a terrible, terrible stock to own at that particular stage in this company's journey. Now, no, it's not at its all-time low, but we are way off from those all-time highs. And it's definitely a stock that I personally still don't want anything to do with. But that stock would be Lucid. This company is a long way off from a lot of things. They're still going to require more capital to keep the doors open, to keep things running. And it's a tough environment right now. It's been a tough environment for over a year for EVs, but I never understood the hype behind it to begin with, as high as it was. I know it's hard to remember, but back in 2021, 2022, there were people saying Lucid was going to overtake Tesla, that it was possible that they would just dominate Tesla in the EV market. I mean, I don't know why. There was literally nothing there in regards to just their niche that they're in the first place in regards to EVs. All the other things that Tesla does that Lucid doesn't do. The fact that Tesla had plans, now they hadn't executed to them yet, but they had plans to move into a lot of different markets, into a lot of different segments just within the car industry there. Lucid had none of that, but yet it was going to take over Tesla from the ultra luxury position. I don't know. I don't know what the logic was back then. So for me, this is still a highly, highly speculative stock that may very well go bankrupt. It's just as likely that's happened as it's going to make you a 10x in the future or something of that nature. So for me, I don't have any reason to speculate right now. I don't see the point in speculating right now, more importantly, on something that still has a 50-50 chance. Now, if earnings start to show those really positive signs, really moving towards profitability, they really start moving product and maybe develop some plans, not PowerPoints, actual plans, and start executing towards moving down market in the particular car segments, okay, maybe at that stage you can start to speculate a little bit with that stock. But beyond that, I don't see the point in doing this. You're strictly gambling. You're simply playing trading games, and it's just a stock. I think there's far better deals out there with far more solid companies who have a better potential of giving me a 10x return than Lucid is. So this is one I'm still way out on. I understand that may upset some of you guys. Comment down below. Again, I'm willing to hear the bear case, or excuse me, I'm willing to hear the bull case here, but you got to comment down below and let me know what that is if you love this stock. And if you want to learn exactly how to do a valuation, how to understand and get your multiples for these stocks that we talked about today, or any stock you have, and you want to see my buys in real time, see my complete watch list with price targets, make sure you take advantage of the March Madness sale that's going on right now, where you get to do all that. You get to work directly with me and our group of 6, 7, and 8-figure investors through coaching, through the free courses, through our 6, 7, and 8-figure Discord. There's so much involved in the group, guys. Check out the pinned comment, see everything that you get, and see if a membership's right for you. And click this video here if you want to see exactly what I'm buying in this market. And click here to see my exact plan for this market. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.